What is going on, guys? My name is Patrick, aka Chief Pat, and today bringing you guys the third episode of the Chief Challenge series. All right, so unfortunately, like I talked about in a previous video, a lot of stuff happened and I wasn't able to post the next one, but Galadon and I are back. Again, we're only sitting 14 trophies apart, and we're gonna go ahead and keep raiding and try to get some epic trophies along the way. So again, you guys choose the army compositions for every single video, and unfortunately, you guys are mega trolls and you chose 100 goblins, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So we're gonna have to trophy push using these goblins. Hopefully it works out for us. You can see my first army composition is 100 goblins, some golems, and some wizards. That's going to change along the way, but let's go ahead and check this out and attack our first base. So I did an attack with those golems. It didn't really turn out that well, so I decided I would change it up a little bit, and I actually decided to just use wizards and goblins and use my goblins as tanks. So even though goblins are super squishy, they're able to distract a bunch of targets at the same time, and I wanted to put those guys up front, use some rage spells on my wizards, and I pray that it worked out. So it actually worked out really well against Town Hall 7s and stuff like that, because wizards are pretty OP, being level 6 attacking a Town Hall 7 with rage spells. But the goblins did a pretty good job up front, being able to tank the buildings for us. So you can see I'm dropping some goblins on the top. They're going to distract that archer tower up there. And pretty much for using a troll army composition, it worked out the best that it could. And I knew that I really couldn't sacrifice a lot of time using any tank units like giants, golems, stuff like that. I really just had to barrel down with the wizards. But you're going to see later that I actually did use a couple of giants because they were pretty fun to distract against some of the higher level bases. So don't want to waste any time. I'm going to drop my wizard on the corner right there. Pretty easy 3-star. I didn't even take a look at the trophy count because I was trying to move so fast. Let's go ahead and move to the next one, where we definitely have an underdeveloped Town Hall 10. So this guy definitely did not gem his base, and let's go ahead and see how much damage we can do to it. So again, wizards in the front, or sorry, goblins in the front, followed up by those wizards. Still haven't really switched it up a bit. I'm putting only goblins and wizards in this army composition, just trying to make my way to the town hall. And for a lot of these bases, I only went for 2-stars. So I tried to get the town hall in the center and then get some buildings on the outside, because he really just didn't have enough time to go for the 3-stars, because like I've talked about, this is a lot of speed raiding, because we only get 30 minutes to raid at a time. Like I mentioned in the first video, Galadon and I are on Skype, and we pretty much go 3, 2, 1, go, and then we attack at the same time, and we just keep spamming attacks over and over again until the timer runs out, and then we both stop. So things are looking good, 88%, 90%. I tried to spread some of my wizards out up top to make the raid go a little bit faster, and I'd say a 3-star in under 1 minute is pretty solid, so I'll take those 32 trophies and then move on to the next battle. So good stuff there. I was able to save a raid spell, not that it really matters. And let's go ahead and check out this next base we have. All right, so you can see I switched it up a bit. I have 103 goblins, 5 giants, and 28 wizards. I wanted a little bit more defense up front with these giants. Even though the goblins do a good job against things like cannons and archer towers, they really do a poor job against wizard towers and mortars because they get blown up all at once. So I brought a couple of giants just in case, and I was able to use those guys up front to make sure my wizards could get into the center of the base. All right, so things are looking good. 2 rage spells have gone down right there. Drop the third one inside of the center, and I think this one might be more of a 2-star kind of base. Just depends on how many guys we can keep alive. Looks pretty good right now, and let's see what happens as we go through. So 52%. Lots of defenses in the back, and actually after I take care of this town hall, I think it might be wiser just to surrender, depending on how long this is going to take. So we're at 2 minutes and 17 seconds. There's still a pretty solid amount of defenses left, so I'm actually just going to surrender to make things go by a little bit quicker, because I don't want to waste around all that time to try to just get a 1 more star and only get a couple more trophies. I already got 2 stars, which is a majority of the trophies, and let's go ahead and try to find our next base. All right, so this guy's at Town Hall 8, seems pretty good. Again, I'm using 100 goblins. You guys are mega trolls. And if you haven't voted already, I'm going to put another poll in the description below for you guys to check out, or to vote for the army composition inside of the next video. But let's go ahead and drop our troops down and see if we can go ahead and take care of this Town Hall 8. This one might be 3-starable depending on how his defenses work out, but I think we should be able to do it. I'm going to drop my goblins all over the place. Those guys are going to run to the center. I'm going to drop my wizards, and I still have 3 rage spells left, so let's see where I want to drop those 2 guys. All right, so rage spell in the very center. Definitely want to get the town hall. That thing is the most important building, and I think this one is easily 3-starable. There's only a couple more defenses in the back. I'm just going to drop a couple more rage spells to break my way through. One by one, those rage spells are actually going to do work, and there's a giant wrecking crew of wizards in the center, and those guys are really just demolishing the inside of the base, as well as there's not a lot of leftover buildings on the outside. So this is actually working perfectly. Again, under 1 minute for a 3-star, maybe a little bit longer than a minute, but it worked out really well. And as long as there's no troll buildings in the corners, I think we should be pretty solid, and I have a really easy 3-star right there. All right, so this was a really good raid. Again, a little bit over a minute, but 3 stars and 21 trophies is pretty good. I'd say that's pretty good for this type of army composition. With the Valkyries, it was actually a lot easier. Those Valkyries destroyed everything, but with the Goblins, they're really not that good. And let's check out this next base here, and this guy was a Town Hall 10 with Inferno Towers. So I thought the Goblins would actually be pretty good against this base because the Goblins could suck up all 5 of the multi-targeted Inferno shots. So let's go ahead and attack through the bottom right and see if we can make our way to the center. Unfortunately, I did not bring any wall breakers, so I'm just going to have to focus on my troops making the right decision and to go for the town hall. But from the very beginning, you guys can notice that my troops are going to the right-hand side, and that's actually a really, really bad sign for me because the multi-targeted Inferno Tower is actually going to target my wizards, and they're going to do massive amounts of work against those guys. So at this point, I was really, really struggling. I had to drop all my troops, drop my goblins, drop my rage spells, and pray that it worked out. But unfortunately, I'm at 38%, and I'm actually going to get demolished and only end up with 39% against this base. That was terrible. I was actually in the lead when I checked that out. I was actually, I think, like 30 trophies ahead of Galadon, but since I lost that one and he won like 20 trophies, that set me back a lot, and I could have played that one a lot better. If you guys saw, there were a lot of mines and pumps on the top left that I could have taken out, but I dropped all my goblins like in one spot. But really, really hectic raiding, and I knew that I had to bring it back to be even somewhat close to Galadon towards the end of this video, so I knew I had to do work against a couple more of these bases. So same exact thing. This guy is a Town Hall 10, no multi-target Inferno Towers because I learned my lesson. Gonna go ahead and drop my giants and wizards. They're gonna break through the base, and I'm gonna have a pretty easy shot to the town hall, and it's sort of just gonna be a decision of whether or not we should go for 3 stars. I think there's pretty much too many defenses to go for 3 stars, so I'm just gonna drop my wizards and goblins to get the buildings outside of the base. 48%, almost to 50%, and then I can end the battle right after that and take my 21 trophies and run away. All right, so let's go ahead and see what we've got going on back home. We're at 1,979 trophies. We actually gained a lot of trophies today. Taking a look at where we're at, if I didn't lose that one raid, we would be in the Crystal League. And taking a look at the scoreboard, only 5 trophies separate me and Galadon from the top. So I'm climbing my way back. I got behind really far in the very beginning, but I actually brought it back to 1,979. So really, really good stuff there. And I was pretty stoked for how this rating went today, even though I did have that one loss. So again, you guys vote for every single army composition in the description below. And if you haven't subscribed to Galadon's channel already, make sure you check his channel out. I'm gonna link in the description below because you want to see the type of attacks that he's using. In fact, I'm pretty interested on what type of army composition that he used. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys later. Peace out.